Oh my goodness. Wow. It's like a double live, yeah. Double live. Yes. The real estate market does suck. It does really suck. So 18 years as a real estate broker. Well, not a broker. I think I got my broker's license in 2009. I got my agent's license in 06. And I would say 18 years flying the umbrella of real estate. At the beginning, when I first started this thing, the market was screwed up. 2006, 2007, just a piece of junk screwed up. So 7, 8, 9, 10, it starts to pop. 11, boom. So you start seeing everybody gobbling up these properties. And I'm watching people right now on TikTok say when the market crashes, man, I can't wait till the real estate market crashes. I think the days of the real estate market crashing and you waiting to get a house off the real estate market, a crash, I think those days are like really, really going, yo. I mean, I've been in real estate, I've bought property, I've bought land, I've rehabbed properties. I think the worst thing, I'm gonna skip, those days are past. First of all, they're not coming back. You got way too many people that's in this real estate space right now, including private equity companies, venture capital companies that are buying up properties when they hit the market as a deal, and even some cases going directly to real estate investors, wholesalers, and getting deals from them who have portfolios. So to say that you're going to get a deal off of a market crash, to me, is like saying, I mean, shoot, that's a fairy tale, yo. It is never going to happen. Never. It's not going to happen. And I say it's not going to happen largely because you got too many people with their hands in the pot right now that's going to make money, or that's making money off of like mom and pop real estate. Too many. Off of mom and pop real estate. Man, is this filter on? That's lame. I don't like that filter on. But yeah, off of mom and pop real estate. So it's way, way, way. There's no such thing of a crash that happens, and there's more buyers right now for this thing than anything else. A lot more buyers. This is the thing I'm saying. If you have never been in real estate, and there is a silver lining for all of everything that happens. And it's sad because I think a lot of us, when I see people talk about the rates dropping, that I know right now is a buyer's market and the buyers are actually in there bidding down properties. But imagine a lot of the jobs that have been lost has a trickle-down effect into the real estate market. Or the inflation that hits the market, that hits here, has an effect on the real estate market to the point where people have to sell pieces of land in order to replenish their savings because the cost of living is so high. So this is not one of those type of things, in my opinion, that has to, if you look at the market right now, it's not one of those type of things where you can sit back and just say, rates are coming down and this is the time to buy, because you got a bunch of, there's a strong possibility. I mean, they're seeing a massive amount of foreclosures on a rising. So I don't know how. How do you expect that to even take place? But you got a lot of people that's out here giving that message. And I've had an investor lose a deal, 3 contracts back to back. 3 contracts back to back. That's crazy. That's insane. I've never had that happen before. 3 contracts literally back to back. So if you're losing those many contracts back to back, and literally we had a full price offer, another full price offer, another full price offer, and it wasn't anything with the condition of the house. It just had to do with, I suspect, they found another deal that was better, lower price down the street, because it's slowly becoming a buyer's market. So when you look at the term that Warren Buffett gives when he's talking about, when there's blood in the street, be scared. When people are when people are greedy, be afraid. And when people are afraid, be greedy. We kind of are like on the afraid, be greedy side right now. It's going to get closer to that, because when people have to sell houses because they can't afford the house, when people have to turn around and do certain things and adjust their lifestyle, there's another effect that happens. That house goes on the market. If a buyer buys it, that's great. But you have a sub-market of investors, wholesalers, that kind of get there way before a lot of this stuff happens. So when I spent most of my time wholesaling real estate, I think 2015, 2014, I could sit on the couch all day and just go through the MLS, lock up properties and wholesale them. So that, when I look at all the people right now, and it makes it that don't even admit in a real estate space that there is an issue, that there's about to be a feeding frenzy on that real estate side. When I look at them, and it's like agents who get out there and they make their bread just through real estate, you kind of feel it, When you're a full-time agent, you can tell the fluctuation that happens in the market when things are running faster, when things slow down. I got a lot of buddies right now, things slow down. Some of them have to change their business because things slow down. So when you look at it like this, you got all this crap that's happening, that's taking place with jobs being lost, AI replacement, restructuring, people right now, the government being shut down. When you take all of that into account, and then you take into account what's happening with the interest rates right now, you got a lot of weird things that's taking place. A lot of weird things. I think it's a perfect storm for someone to go ahead and buy a property. That's why I think still being in real estate, being in the investing space right now, I think the investing space is probably going to see the biggest pop. Probably going to see the biggest pop in the investing space. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a lot of people that have to sell. And the use of creative financing buckled by with the undergarment of low interest rate, then to me, that's the perfect storm for a lot of creative financing deals that involve sub twos or, so I think this is probably the best time to actually get ready for real estate, in my opinion. I think everything that happened before just now, with all with high prices on houses, I don't think that was really real estate investing. I think that was just hype, overinflated assets that people were afraid that shit was going to happen. They started buying. Man, I told you, I knew this was bad when I had a house on the market, man, and I flipped this house. Bad enough, this girl that I was working to deal with, she didn't freaking do her part. The house was going into freaking foreclosure. And I gave her the house. So my credit's about to go. I saw this coming down the line. Like, I really saw this coming down the line, because the house, we ended up selling it after the first contract, second contract, third contract. We ended up selling the house. Man, but I just say the worst part about this is you're going to have some people that is really going to affect. This is going to affect some people for real. Yeah. And I don't think we quite know how much it's going to affect people, honestly. But when people can't admit that this market sucks, that's the thing I hate the most. They can't admit that the market sucks. They want to feed people a lie. If you're a buyer right now, shoot, you could take the knees from underneath these people right now. 50,000, 25,000, 30,000. For sure, for sure. If they can't turn around and lease it or even pad split that place, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. I got a client right now. It really hurts for him, man. He's like, Lee, I gotta get from underneath this house. Mm-hmm. Oh. So I think it's gonna shift, man. I think it's gonna shift. Not I think. When those rates even drop lower, because Trump is going to, without a shadow of a doubt, he's going to try to get these rates down. He's going to remove Powell. He's going to replace him. He's going to try to get the rates lower. But the rates aren't the issue. Not the issue. By the way, if you're in Atlanta right now, I got to give a plug for Live Free Give Hope. We are giving away a 1-bedroom, 1-bath in the city of Atlanta. The sweepstakes starts October 31st. We're going to do the drawing December the 31st, New Year's Eve. Go to 12monthfreerent.com. 12-month free rent. Fully furnished, utilities included. The guy owns the building. This is something completely different, brand new. Never tried doing it. If you're a real estate investor, you get the opportunity to enter the raffle and you get yourself a cash flowing property. Doesn't cost you anything to enter the raffle. Nothing at all. So 600, you can do up to 600 entries. I thought it was a brilliant idea, in my opinion. I thought it was a real brilliant idea. The thing about real estate, man, it's in a box. Real estate isn't really innovative. That's the fact. If anything, it becomes more and more restrictive. I've always said, even when it comes to the real estate agents, the fact that they have you get a license and then you end up working for a brokerage, and the broker is only concerned about you closing properties and you closing deals. He got to get his split. He got to get his little split off of it. So they don't teach real estate agents really to be competent outside of the fear tactic of you could possibly go to jail if you do something crazy. Real estate investors are completely different. They don't know the rules. They don't have these they know rules, but I mean, to be honest with you, is not a ton of rules that you can F up on. I mean, outside of you losing money, your financing and stuff like that. Slow down. What's up, Slow Down? What's up, John? Yeah, man. So it sucks. It does suck. It really does. The deal flow has slowed down so freaking much. And you know what's worse? I think the other worst part about it is that some of these agents perpetrating. Do you know it costs to be that agent, man? It costs, bro. It costs to be an agent. That stuff is not free. And the reality of it is this. There are deals closing every day. People are closing real estate deals. August 2025 was the highest amount of pending real estate deals that just flopped. That means they just canceled out. They didn't close. In the last 8 years. The last 8 years. 8 years. I know hard money lenders, private money lenders right now that are trying to keep even investor deals together because either the project isn't completed, but it's projected that even when it's completed, it's going to come under market. Everybody takes these L's in real estate. That's the thing about it. This is the lie in the facade that is such a freaking lie in facade. I hate this thing to the core. Everybody takes L's in real estate. Nobody takes no L. There's no such thing. Matter of fact, taking L's in real estate is what's required to actually grow in this business. From people scamming you, from you just buying bad freaking deals. This is not, real estate has never been a place where where you really get information. The only way you get information is really to get out and do it, because even the best seminar coach, regardless of whatever these people tell you, they will teach you, but up to a limit. Even the coaches and even these course people are legit trying to sell. And I'm like, most of them sell fucking courses that you can learn half the shit off of YouTube just by listening to it through just listen to. And I get pissed when I see it, because let's fucking be for real, man. Like, that's all you got to do is plug into YouTube, listen to courses. You can get content from ChatGPT. They're not telling you anything. There's certain experiences that you can benefit from that they may have, but this is the thing about that. They would have to legit be walking with you hand in hand doing it. Legit. Walking with you hand in hand doing it. And that's not something you're going to sit back and pay somebody $150 to do each month. You just not. Nobody's going to take your $150 to walk you through a deal hand in hand. Shit, I could be making multiple deals done at the same time, you know? But real estate does suck right now. It really does. So I don't know what they're doing, you know? You got investors that want to get out of the business. Real talk. I'm talking about the sweepstakes in Atlanta where we're giving away that apartment. It's a giveaway. The owner of that, he wanted to liquidate it and just go into lending. You know, just go into lending. I think this is a God-given idea that no amount of lending you can actually do to actually beat it out. 12monthfreerent.com. Go check it out again. I'm always going to plug that in, bro. I'm going to plug it in. You know? Not too many people, I think, are really looking to buy houses, but we do have a bunch of investors that are waiting. And some of them are trying to, sometimes they find these deals and they get hung up on the rates. So they slow to pull the trigger. Or they pull the trigger and they thought it over so much. Man, overthinking. But hands down, deals are still getting done. We're not saying deals are not getting done. But what we are saying is that the buyers that are buying are going to have a lot more buying opportunities over the next 12 months. I think that's why I project that 220, when I'm looking at it, looking at how everything is pacing, and I've been pulled off the market. That's true. I kind of pulled myself off the market because the fix and flip thing, it scoured me. Like, I was like, dude, I'm so many projects going at one time, I'm mentally burnt out. But I am back with a vengeance. Better believe it, baby. You better believe it. I'm back with a vengeance. Yup, come on. I'm back, baby. Yup, come on. Because this is the reality of it. I believe in 2026, if you know how to do some type of creative real estate and you get a chance to get into something like that, you're going to see more deals happen simply because people are going to need help. And if you have the right mindset, you'll be able to help them, give them a soft landing, and in some cases, even prevent them from having to lose their house. Wouldn't that be something? We played the game backwards. We prevented people from losing their houses instead of coming in and scooping it up, right? But that's a fact. Some of the investors right now are holding on to deals, man. They got to get rid of them. I mean, it's painful to see these guys right now. It's painful. But some of them are making money still. So, I mean, what changes one from the other? This is, and I keep going back to it, you got to take L's in real estate. You got to. It's almost like trading stock. When I started trading stock for a little bit, I traded stock for a little bit, but the L's that you got to take, you got to be cool with, you might be down a certain amount for a long period of time and you may come back. You may end up losing quite a few until you hit. And that's the perpetration. I feel like that's the lie. The lie, it tells people that that's an easy way in. The money's there when you talk about taxes, the money's there. When you're talking about large checks, the money's there. It's in real estate. Everybody knows that. Deals are getting done. But the reality of it is not too many people are willing to take an L in order to get to that place. Or they think that it's they got to get a course. You got to get educated. But they think it's just get the course and once I do it, it's going to work out right. No, it doesn't. I mean, for some people, when they say, I'm not going to question anybody, they bought their first unit, it was a 12-unit apartment. That's great. I started with single family. Y'all too fly for me, Y'all too cool for me. So I'm just the nerd. For real, I'm the awkward guy. Real talk. Because I sit back and I study this thing and I'm just looking at them. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So when you get an influx of inventory, you're going to have more situations where you're going to have more buying opportunities. And people still don't get it. You're going to have it. But you can't sit back and say you're going to wait for this thing to be 3% for you to pull the trigger if you're trying to do a traditional house. But if you're trying to invest, if you're trying to learn how to invest, if you're trying to get in and cut your teeth on when I started in 07, 08, it was blood in the water. I mean, it really was. People were bleeding, but it was a different type of bleeding. When I started in 07, 08, I got my license in 06. When I really started getting into it, 07, 08, like helping people like Miss Jackson, my first short sale save. I mean, the reality of it, people were bleeding, but they were bleeding on the backs of these mortgage loans being the way that they are, where you had interest-only mortgage loans and interest rates were spiking, going crazy. So that was more having to do with that mortgage portion. When inflation inflates an asset, when you have inflation, assets go up in value. So you have assets that are going up in value. And I know, because I'm looking at my tax bill for houses, I'm like, I'm like, damn, this tax bill is pretty high, but it's high because the neighbors, they're selling their house for more. Now, the market's pulling back. People like me who had high taxes, let this go through the cycle, let the market retract and go back. It's not just going to retract and cause people to have lower taxes on their tax bill when you're talking about going into the next tax cycle, simply because when sellers are slashing their prices, they're selling it for less. This is simple math. Simple. That creates also buying opportunities. So you should be positioning yourself to learn about buying land. This is my personal opinion. I was just listening to a CNBC when they were talking about just earlier today how many builders own how much land in this country. And they're sitting on a lot of it. Sitting. Now, why? Because this land appreciates. It's an asset. And it's still the cheapest thing to get in as raw. Still the cheapest thing. I've done enough land deals, enough land wholesale deals, enough land flip deals to know that this land would be a good play. But if you don't even get in it to buy and to hold, if you're just really trying to find income, I kind of feel like getting in, learning it and helping people that are going to be in need, that's going to be the best play right there. That's probably going to be one of the best plays because people are going to be in need. We got a 30% increase in the foreclosure. It's ticking up. So when foreclosures start to happen, this is the thing. And that inventory hits the market, the bank doesn't want to get the inventory back. Okay. Now you get the opportunity to do things we call a short sale, where you can short sell the house and The person can sell the house for less than they owe on the property in order to get from underneath it, and the bank will let them out. So that's one play. As an investor, you want to, because we're dealing with so low interest rates, you want to be in a position to buy some of this stuff through a creative process where the interest rate stays the same. That deal is called a subject to. That's a creative real estate deal, subject to. Why? Because the bank doesn't want to take that back, and you've already got a lower rate, but the person can't make the payment, and there's so many benefits to help them in that process. So these creative deals like that, to me personally, and you can literally go and Google a lot of this stuff, put it through ChatGPT, put it through YouTube. This is not something that's brand new. Now, you may get snippets through YouTube, but you'll get more content through ChatGPT, and that's why I'm learning more. ChatGPT just bridges everything in my business right now. Just when I put it in the chat, I'm also asking ChatGPT to pull me YouTube videos that are specific to that topic, so that now you're not dealing with listening to a lot of the fluff, and focus on videos that remove the fluff. And you can get a full real estate education through that process. I'm telling you, you'll know. The game has actually changed so much. Nobody's the gate bearer of information. If anything, all we can do and all they can do is really create communities. But even in that community, who the hell wants to pay free? No, I'm just joking. I'm not going to say $1,000 a month. Some people paid $197. I mean, some people have value. They got some value. I don't hate on them. They do got, some people have some value, but it's less that have value and more that don't. Honestly, less. Even now, man, in the AI space, same thing. You see a lot of these cats, they'll make a product and then, yeah, I'm the AI guy, and they give you an AI certification, and you can't be certified from that. Back to real estate, this is the best time. I just think it's hands down the best time. I'm going to keep telling people that. Because the reality of it is I'm already gassing up the horses. I'm already doing it. I'm getting it ready and putting it in place. Because when it hit, it hit. I was around in 07. I was around in 08. I saw that already. I know how the transition went. When I started wholesaling real estate, it's crazy. Like the very first wholesaling real estate book that I had was Dan Gaziosi. It was a book I ordered and they sent it, and I was flipping through the book, dude. And it showed me how to write a yellow letter and how to get bandit signs and all that. The game is changing. I keep saying the game is changing, but some things are going to stay the same. Now, it's going to be based on marketing more than anything else. And technical stuff, you can learn that through ChatGPT. So don't be afraid to go do it. I mean, if this is something you want to do, you want to go and get into investing, I think this is going to be one of the best times. And if you get into commercial's getting a bloodbath, boy. What? Ooh. All that vacant space. I like to do real estate like the owner of Live Free, Give Hope, the guy. I like to do stuff because I'm like a real estate, I'm like a, what would you call it? Entrepreneurial hippie. I want to be free. You can freaking keep the money, honestly. I want to be free. I'm more or less about freedom. I'm less about trying to be a billionaire or something like that. It's not. And honestly, when I focus more on the money, or when I was focusing on that, deals were just so pitiful. I wasn't listening to my heart. Every single person should have their foot or their space somewhere in the real estate space. Somehow, some way you should have. Whether you're an agent, whether you're a wholesaler, however, because getting hold of land, whether it's land in Midwest of the country, middle country, America, it doesn't matter. Being able to at least identify it and know a type of deal you can do to acquire it, it just makes you move a lot more better. And you don't be afraid to mess up. Just don't. I mean, you talking to somebody, I had $1.5 million under loan at one time. Oh, I got scammed by a business partner on another business while trying to focus on doing this, flipping real estate. God. And that leads me to the other part. Don't do the deal. Don't do things because it's popular. And I say that. These are my internal changes that I made. You don't do flipping because flipping is popular. You don't do wholesaling because it's popular. You kind of do what you feel in your gut gives you your level of risk tolerance at the same time. For some people, it might just be getting a real estate license, honestly. It might be. It might be. At least you learn the legal portion. You know about terms, you know about contracts. And I keep telling investors, when I used to train wholesalers on how to wholesale property, and I don't even do that as much anymore, I would literally say you probably need to get your real estate license, but don't practice it. Just complete the test, never go for the license. Why? You know now terms, you know law, you know if it's anything that has to do with, like, if you're in Florida, it has to do with like beachfronts. You know. That's the best education. The only thing you could stack on top of that is marketing and sales. Because at its core, all of this, even real estate, is sales. Finance is the clothes that real estate wears. That's it, period. Now, you're talking to somebody that's been in this thing for 17, 18 years. Finance is the clothes that real estate wears. Selling what? Finance, marketing, attraction, all of these things go together. Some people spend more time thinking that they got to be the practitioner in real estate. No, you got to be able to sell the person that's selling the deal on you being the best person or your terms are better. And then you got to be able to sell the deal when you're done to a person that's either going to be your renter or either your buyer. It's all going to be about sales at its core, sales and marketing at its core. There are stupid real estate agents out here. You know that. But they know how to sell. Or they have a piece of sales and marketing that they use over and over again, that tool that they work over and over again. And they don't know any different, but a lot of them, you ask them what their latest sales book is or something related to sales that they recently did. They have enough to be dangerous, and that's it. But it's enough. It's enough. That's the difference between a realtor that sells one, probably two houses every quarter or every 6 months, and somebody that's like a Mark Spain, or what are these other guys, like national real estate people. Mark Spain, I don't know how many countries states he's in, but I'm in Georgia, and Mark Spain is big, stretching down to Florida, going up to South Carolina, North Carolina. But that's all marketing. That's all it is. That's all marketing. That's all marketing. People hate Trump, but honestly, Trump lost the whole real estate thing. He only kept a couple pieces in his real estate portfolio, but what you experience with Trump is marketing. Marketing turned freaking politics upside down. That's it. Marketing. I'm just saying. You can hate the man, you can dislike what I got to say, but it's a fact. Just marketing. And simply because of his marketing, you have a persona that started to enter the room, and that persona became real. Dude, going back to real estate, go back to it. To dominate in that space, in the space of real estate. And this is something it took me a while to get, because I thought I had to be the investor buying a bunch of property. I thought I had to be the wholesaler flipping a bunch of houses. I thought doing those things are great, but more importantly, you have to be a better salesperson. You have to. Because you go from you transition. When I transition from dealing with residential real estate to dealing with investment real estate and then dealing with financing in the investment side, you got to sell. Some deals are done private money where you literally have to sell the deal to the private money guy who's got a couple $1 million that wants to invest it in to the market. He's got to see that the numbers make sense. Yeah, you're making XYZ amount of money, but guess what? The numbers make sense for him. So you, in a way, you got to sell it to him. He may be more skeptical. He may be more pessimistic. These are levels in the game of real estate that you go up. Some of these guys, to me, honestly, a lot of this stuff is fucking cloak and dagger. And they don't, it's no place you really go, regardless of whatever they say, that you're just going to learn everything from top to bottom. Probably one, actually, let me take it back. There is one specific place that I do know. They're a real estate club. I think it's called Wealth Builders. Look, I'm giving that plug to Wealth Builders. Oh my gosh. I think it's called Wealth Builders. I was impressed by how they rolled out their real estate training, and it's not just real estate, it's finance and it's all this other stuff put together. But that's where it starts. So if I was you and you wanted to get into the business, 2026 may be the year to actually do that. It may just be it. I don't know, somebody need to hear that tonight. Somebody did. Man, I'm going to talk more real estate stuff. I know I talk a lot more other stuff, politics and crazy stuff, but I like to turn it upside down. It's funny. You get a bunch of people that I know, they'll look at these and they're like, oh my goodness, Leon, what are you talking about? Some of this game is stuff you just hit yourself. I was hitting my head up against the wall trying to figure out certain things. Nobody really taught it to me. Nobody came and had to say, hey, you got to do this. I had to go to here to get peace, and here to get peace, and here to get peace. And when somebody wants to teach it, they want to give it 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. I'm like, dang, what are you talking about? What they're trying to do is give you the mentorship, but honestly, it's not mentorship, because you're going to be in situations, and I had to discover for myself, you just going to have to kind of work yourself through it. And that's going to unlock the juices that's going to allow you to be more creative in other deals. But some people don't take that road. They don't start doing it. They think that means you got to go get a loan and you got to go into debt to do it. Yes, you can do all of that to build your real estate deal if that's what you want to do. Traditional buying, people do that all the time. House hacking, stuff like that. But there are other creative ways to do it. Other creative ways to do that and then bring financing to the table that you may not necessarily even have scores and capability of getting on your own, but simply because you can wield enough assets and you market and sell and you know how to attract the business, the finance will follow it. What did I say? Finance is the clothes that real estate wears. That's my game for the night, man. I'm done. You guys have a great night.